the key of your asylum or human rights claim is credibility. Now, if you can satisfy the immigration officer that you are a credible witness, you are giving a credible statement, you are giving a credible story behind your life, behind back home, then more likely your claim will be successful. Now, the purpose of today's video is I'll explain what I do for my clients when someone come to me, or I advise, or I take the whole case for asylum claim. The first things I do, I sit with my client, explain that he is free or she is free to explain everything to me honestly. He need to tell the story, and I give a confidence to tell me everything her back home, because in terms of solicitor in your asylum claim is your doctor. If you don't tell the disease, your doctor can't give the correct medicine. So if I don't understand your circumstance, if I don't understand what is your issue, why you can't go back to your country, or why you want to stay in the UK, and what's the reason behind it, then I can't set yourself which article, whether I should put you on Article 1 on Refugee Convention, or I should set you on humanitarian protection, or I will make an application on human rights basis, convention right basis. So this is the first things. I try to understand your client circumstance, and then I advise my client, well, this is your circumstance, is this is the law is, and this is the evidence you required. So I advise the client, so this is the evidence requirement. Now, some circumstance, many people can't get this evidence. For example, you are traveling from Turkey to Greece to France, then UK. Now you claim the asylum, so you had an opportunity, because you should seek your asylum in your first opportunity. You was in France, you were in German. Why you didn't make asylum claim? So that is the point where Home Office may refuse your application. So you need to give a credible explanation to the Home Office why you can't make an asylum. Now many people, spend their situation indifferently, where beyond their control. I interview many people where I find myself that the client was under a condition that he can't leave the people who smuggling them. If they have a threat where if they claim asylum on the way in German or in France, they will damage their family. The family will face prosecution, torture from these smuggling groups. So that's why they can't make a claim. So you can't prove by evidence this fact to the immigration officer. But what I give a reasonable explanation, which is does make sense, or is appear to be on the face of it, this is a credible story. So when you can't bring evidence, there is some explanation which is reasonable. That's what we advise our client. I don't advise to client to make a false story or tell to give a wrong answer, but we advise the client within the law, within the discussion, within the ambit of legal system, where the international treaty, human rights convention, or refugee convention. So what are the remedy available? And there are policy guidelines, country report, convention, a decision of the ECHR, decision of the different courts. So we and many court observation explain why in certain circumstances someone can claim asylum on the way or in a safe country, or why someone can bring this evidence from his back home. So these are the reasonable, acceptable explanation, and accordingly we explain to the client what answer you should give and what is your circumstance. Now many people who claim asylum, they escape prosecution, they escape unlawful torture, and they're very nervous, and when they come here, they sometimes even they're telling their true story to the immigration officer, but they are so much nervous, and they appear to their true story is a false story. So we give this confidence to a client. Okay, you have to present your case in that way. The other things also I do when I send my client for a screening interview, I am familiar with what question the Home Office will ask. So I explained that these are the questions you will be faced, and you need to answer the immigration officer accordingly. And then before the substantial interview, you have a plenty of time, and then this time you get the evidence. Whatever you said on your screening interview, now collect the supporting document. If not in your control, how you can manage it. If you can't get it, this evidence, now an explanation which I advise, okay, this is the explanation, and in support of this explanation, these are the guidelines, and these are the decision of the Supreme Court or ECHR. So this is how I prepare them for substantial interview. Generally, we don't go to the interview with the client, because even though if I go to the interview, I can't play any role rather than just observe. So, but what I do, I prepare the client according to the law, to give them confidence that your situation is covered by the Refugee Convention. You do have a protection in law. You do have protection under the ECHR Convention on Human Rights. You do have a protection under Refugee Convention under Human Rights Act 1998. So within the legal system, we advise the client, we explain the law, and then I provide support. And this is one of the important element, I think, for asylum claim. Now, some of the claimant, even some of the client, sometimes they become too smart, and they make a story in a way that they think, well, this is looks like a very credible story. But in fact, the immigration caseworker, especially those who interview asylum seeker, they are professional. They interview thousands, hundreds of asylum seeker, and they are brilliant to understand whether this is a credible story or not. But yes, sometimes they make a wrong judgment about a story, but in any way. So that's what you have to be honest. You have to be credible to the interview to successfully your claim. Also, I gave some advice and explained the law, that is Refugee Convention. What is refugee? Who can claim protection under convention, Refugee Convention? So that has to be, you should understand it. You should familiar with the human rights. You don't need to be an expert. You are not a lawyer, but at least you know, okay, I need to establish that I have a well-founded of fear of prosecution if I require to return back home. That you have to understand. You have to understand that you have some basic rights as a human being, and what are these rights, what is private family. So we give some idea and explain the law relevant to the fact, so that client at least understand that what he need to establish in the interview. So this is the brief, and mostly we advise according to the circumstance of the client and according to his background. I hope that information will help you, and thank you very much for watch my live video. If you need any help, if you want to book a consultation, please feel free to book an appointment to the number appearing on the bottom of the video, and we are happy to advise you remotely as well if you are not available in London or Milton Keynes. Thank you.